In the first scene of the series, three friends, Mutsumi, Takumi, and Ryo, are seen talking. Takumi tells his friends that his cat is undergoing a transformation into what seems to be Nekomata because its tails are splitting already. Takumi rushes home because of this. His friends follow him. They also want to see how amazing the transformation is. They get home to see the cat hiding behind a carton, but Takumi's brother revealed that he was able to get the process on camera. Takumi then asks the cat, Buccio, why he is hiding. He gently showcases his head and reveals that he is shy, and this is the reason he is hiding his face. When he realized that he was transforming into a Nekomata, he got embarrassed because he didn't know what people were going to say about him. The name Buccio is funny, and Takumi's brother is forced to ask who gave him the name, prompting their mother to reply that it was her. Takumi's mother tells Buccio that he should not be offended by the fact that she allowed everyone to know that he is transforming. She assumed that he was dying of old age, and this is the reason she let everyone know about his transformation. However, she is happy that Buccio is still there with them, and he is also free to change his name if he wants to. Buccio then replies that he has no intentions of changing his name because he now considers it good. Takumi's brother soon posted the video on the internet, causing it to go viral with millions of views. Soon afterward, Ryo and Mutsumi head to their respective houses. On her way home, Mutsumi runs into her neighbor Jiro. Jiro is also an Ayashi, and he looks like a bird. Mutsumi wastes no time in telling Jiro everything about her day and how she saw the transforming cat. The weather is hot while they wait, and Jiro decides to give Mutsumi a pack of ice cream that he won at the grocery store. He is waiting for his roommate Tazunbo to come pick him up. He decides to call Tazunbo to inform him of this, but Tazunbo refuses the offer, telling Jiro to find his way home. Jiro considers flying tiring just like humans consider running. Just then, Mutsumi notices that the sweat drips on her body have dried up, forcing her to ask if Jiro used his powers, and he says yes. Mutsumi then explains to us what we are confused about. Apparently, humans and divine beings live together in the land until mysterious beings known as Ayashi came to be. They are beings born of mystical powers, and that of people's hearts. The Ayashi continued living alongside humans even when the divine beings returned to the heavens. The name of the town is Fuchigamori, and it is a valley town. Later on, Buccio's family starts to sort the paperwork about his transformation. Takumi's mother tells Buccio that he has no reason to be formal with her, because they are now family. Buccio talks about how happy he is that he transformed and the entire family supported him during his transformation. Takumi asks Buccio if he is permitted to use Nekomata for his school project, but Buccio says he is going to prefer it if Takumi uses his previous form instead. Takumi agrees to this, since he has no choice but to follow whatever Buccio says. Takumi then asks the cat if he can now use his yokai powers, but he looks confused about this. It seems that he doesn't know what Takumi means, and in fact, he has not felt any sort of power in him. Takumi's brother then suggests that they talk to some other yokai about this. He suggests that they talk to Jiro, the crow Tengu, who protects the mountains. They also want to talk to Jiro's housemate, who is old and experienced. They are talking about Tazunbo here. Later on, Buccio makes his way to Jiro's house. Buccio is startled when he meets Tazunbo. He sure has a scary face, and Jiro understands how the cat feels. Jiro makes tea for them, and when they sit to talk, Jiro asks him if he is getting used to his new body, and he says yes. However, he complains about the fact that the paperwork that he has had to go through the past 2 weeks is tiring. Jiro then tells him to stay strong because he is still a newborn when it comes to this. He can be considered old because he is 20 years old, but he is no longer a cat, which means he now gets to live longer. Buccio says he still feels scared about what happened to him. Jiro and Tazunbo then tell him that speaking to other folks is the way out. In the next scene, Mutsumi sees a Deataraboki passing in front of her, and this amazes her. She wonders if the giant being is there to bring rain for them. She pays Jiro a visit and finds him preparing a dish. She tells him about the bulletin that she brought for him. Mutsumi then joins Jiro in preparing the food. While they are doing this, Jiro asks her if the bulletin she brought is about the festival, and she says yes. Apparently, she is going to be a priestess in the upcoming festival. She has memorized the dance, but the practice is the pain. Once they are done preparing the dish, Jiro puts some on the altar and makes some prayer moves in front of the altar. He tells Mutsumi that the divine beings are always listening to them, even though they don't speak back. He then wishes Jiro good luck on her dance at the festival. Moments later, it starts raining, and Mutsumi assumes that this was made by the Deitaraboki that she saw earlier on. Nonetheless, this reminds her that it is almost time for the Lantern Festival. Up next, Jiro takes Buccio with him, telling him that there is someone he wants him to meet. On their way to the place, Buccio reveals that he has been taking transformation classes because what he heard was that the core powers of a Nekomata are in their transformation. They soon get to a house where they meet a lady who goes by the name Yuri. Buccio stands still when the lady is looking him in the eyes. Yuri then tells Jiro that she is ready to take Buccio in since Jiro and Tazunbo asked. Buccio is lost by what they are saying because Jiro never told him anything. Jiro then reveals that it was a surprise. To show Buccio why he has come, Yuri transforms into a half-fox. It turns out that the two have the same powers, and Buccio is so happy to have Yuri as his teacher. Now at Mutsumi's house, she and her family are gathered, waiting for Grandpa to show up. Moments later, an Oshoro arrives, but there is no sign of their grandpa. The Oshoro came in the form of a horse, and their grandmother suggests that Grandpa must have gone inside already. Mutsumi is asked to give the Oshiro food and also thank him for his help. Once she does this, the Oshiro transforms into a small plant-like creature, and Mutsumi carries it into the house to feed it. While on his way to give the creature food, Mutsumi sees her grandpa's ghost going to where the TV is. The elder in the family suggests that Grandpa is going there to watch the news. Mutsumi soon settles down to hand the Oshiro food, and while she is doing this, she starts thinking about her dad. She really hoped that he would come home with Grandpa. Just then, she feels Grandpa touching her from behind and telling her that her father would be sad if she thought of him as a dead person. More to come on her father later. Don't forget to watch the video to the end and subscribe to the channel too. Later on, Buccio is seen cutting flower petals with Yuri. He wonders how this is considered a transforming lesson. Yuri then points out the fact that he is already using the scissors subconsciously. She told him that he transformed his hand to fit the tools that he needed without even knowing it. However, Yuri doesn't consider this a transformation until Yuri is able to do it consciously. Yuri then reveals that she was born a Bakagitsune, unlike Buccio, who started out as a cat. She then asks him if he knows the reason he became a Nekomata, but Buccio doesn't seem to know. Since he doesn't, Yuri decides to take another approach to this. She tells Buccio to place his right hand on her palm. She then tells him that transforming takes concentration, and then boom, Buccio's hand transforms into that of a human. Buccio is shocked and excited to see this. Yuri lets him know that this is the first step he needs to take when learning transformation. After showing him what to do, Yuri asks him to try it out by himself. He does this, and is able to transform his right hand, but it immediately goes back to his cat hand. Yuri then tells him that he is losing concentration, and this is the reason his hand refuses to stay in the human form. She sits beside him and lets him know that he doesn't need to be afraid of the transformation. He should also not be scared or nervous about it, she says. Just then, Takumi and Ryo show up to check on Buccio and how far he is coping with his training. Yuri then tells the two boys that training is going fine, but it seems Buccio is scared of her. She then suggests that Buccio try transforming in front of them. Takumi and Ryo urge him on, telling him that he can do it. Buccio closes his eyes and tries the process. This time, he is able to transform both hands into the human form, and this gets everyone excited. Yuri tells him that he passed the test, and Buccio acknowledges his success to the fact that Ryo and Takumi were cheering him on. Elsewhere, Mutsumi arrives home to see her mother receiving a call. She seems to know what the call is about, and she gently closes the door. She then runs to Jiro, holding him and crying at the same time. Jiro pets her, telling her that everything will be fine. Later that day, Mutsumi's mother comes to give Jiro and Tanzibo some of the veggies that she harvested on her farm. Jiro thanks her for the goodwill, telling her that it will be used for dinner later that day. Jiro notices that her mood is down, and he asks her what the problem is. Mutsumi's mother then reveals that a detective called her about her husband's case. She says the detective talked about the possibility that her missing husband was abducted or spirited away. Far worse, there is the possibility that he was swallowed up by the void, which is an imaginary dimension between the human world and the afterlife. Mutsumi's mother says she was already prepared to hear this because she has read other people's cases too. Jiro then asks her if she has told the kids about this, but she says no. Jiro assures her that she is free to talk to him and Tazunbo anytime, to avoid bottling things in her mind. Mutsumi's mother appreciates this, and Jiro says there is nothing to be appreciated when it comes to this, because they have been neighbors for a very long time now. After she is gone, Jiro sits down to talk to Tazunbo. He believes that Mutsumi knows what happened to her father, because she can see it. She knows that something swallowed him up, but she is just not ready to accept the fact that he is gone. Jiro then says he will be there for Mutsumi as a father until she is ready to accept the truth. While the two are discussing, there is a white snake lying in the grass in front of them, and the snake is busy listening to everything that they are talking about without them realizing it. On the other hand, Mutsumi is seen staring into some sort of darkness, and she is clearly fixated on this.